and I found the skipper of the Atlanta Braves, Brian Snitker, joining us on MLB Central this morning. Good morning to you, Snit.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us. It is a big day. Over the years, when you hear Hank's name, he was the greatest Brave. Around here, he was the greatest man. What can you tell us about the man he was?
Just that. You know, it's like I'm so indebted to Hank, the friendship that we fostered over the years. I say I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now if it wasn't for Hank Aaron. And just, you know what, we all talk about and we look back on our days when he was the minor league farm director, which when I signed, that was his first year as being the minor league farm director. Then I ended up as a manager, young manager, working for him. And we just, such great memories of those days and the guy that Hank was. And it was just, you talking to Hank and being around him, you'd never thought he hit 755 homers or went to every All-Star game or just the great player he was, because you know what, he was just a guy that we all wanted to please.
What's the one thing he told you that you take with you? It's hard, right?
You know what? It's not just one thing. I think it's just how the person that he was, and how family was first. And he would always call. You know, you get a call like once a week, and he just checking in, see how you're doing. How's the family doing? I didn't even have a family back then, other than my mom and dad. But he was always big into that, and that was always the conversation before we got down to business. And I just think he treated everybody so well, and it wasn't like he was the home run king. I mean, he was Hank, and just a really good friend.
A special day here at Truist. D-Row, I know you want to get in on this.
Snit, I want to fast forward it to the 2025 Braves. Bobby Cox used to wait about 40 games before calling a team meeting and saying, hey, the names on the back say we're better than this, time to go. I remember you calling a meeting a couple years ago in Arizona. I know it's early. Yeah. I know the guys are fighting hard and they're trying hard. You're a hit away, but how long do you give the leash?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. I had a little one the other day just because, it wasn't even about that, quite honestly. But I think, you know what? It is early still. If this were happening in July and we had this stretch, nobody'd even think about it. But that's why I hate the beginnings of years, because everything gets so much more magnified. The guys, they are, as you know, they're humans. They want to do good, and everybody wants to be the guy and to get us off the mat. And I think it's just a matter of time. These guys, it's not for lack of work. It's not for lack of want. They're caring and doing the study and all that kind of stuff. I just, it started happening the other night, and you just got to play this thing out a little bit.
Snit, entering into about your 50th year with the Braves, 10th as the manager for the Braves. Do you ever get to be a baseball fan sitting in that dugout and you look at this pitching matchup you guys got today? You got Wheeler against Sale. Do you ever sit there and just kind of figure out, hey, this is pretty cool that I get to watch this from this vantage point?
Yeah, you're right. I do, too. And it's a really neat thing. Anytime I get to sit on that front step and watch Chris Sale pitch, it's pretty special. Because this guy he just keeps amazing me every day as we get to know him and I'm around him and watch him compete and how he handles situations. And he's a special, special guy. And as is that guy on the other side tonight. I mean, it's going to be a great pitching matchup.
Snit, what have you seen and what has impressed you the most about Spencer Schwellenbach?
Yeah, just everything. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the assortment, the strike throwing ability, the makeup and how he handles himself on the mound, how he can slow the game down, everything that he does to be a winning pitcher, like holding the running game, fielding his position, the feel that he has for pitching, just watching him come off the mound and interacting with the catchers. He's a special, special guy also.
A Snit timeline for some of the injuries. I was here last week. I saw Spencer Strider throwing. Can you kind of run down the list for us?
Yeah, Spencer's he's throwing Thursday in Gwinnett, and then we'll see how that goes. And I think he's closer than we think, quite honestly. Ronald still, hadn't been cleared to do all the running and the starting and stopping and things like that. He's getting live at bats down in the minor league camp. But we're going to activate Murph today, so we're getting him back today. So that's these guys are coming, and it's going to be a shot in the arm when we get them. But still we're better than what we've shown, quite honestly. And I'm just waiting for all that to start clicking here now.
Well, if you're going to take on Wheeler, we're going to get this thing rolling in the right direction. You got to get a good breakfast. What does Brian Snitker have for breakfast?
I had a banana before I came out just to balance my blood pressure medicine, quite honestly.
There you go.
Any lunch after this?
I'll probably get a peanut butter sandwich or something. I'm going to go get on the treadmill for a while and get rid of the stress and then come out and be ready to go.
I was thinking of your day, Snit, noon to midnight.
Yeah.
Obviously. What do you still love about this?
You know what? It's, I guess, everything. You know what? I love being kicked in the gut and trying to figure out a way to get it going. And just every day you come. I come to the ballpark every day thinking, when I see that stadium when I'm driving up, I'm thinking, God, am I blessed? I never thought I'd be coming in here as a major league manager. And here 10 years in, I still get to come to a place as beautiful as this, as Truist Park right here, and work and be with young people and watch them go. You know what I mean? It's you can never take a day for granted in life anyway. So I get chills every time I drive up to the ballpark, quite honestly.
Still, isn't that something? What do you know now that you didn't know 10 years ago?
Oh, wow. It's still really hard, and it's about the players. And you better have patience every day that you do this job, or you'll drive yourself crazy and those guys that you're trying to get to play.
All the ingredients.
All
Thanks
the
for the
ingredients.
time.
Snit, she hit you with the
Appreciate it.
mind bender questions.
Would you just stop it?
And by the way,
He gave a
Snit,
great
you're one of the
answer.
best people. I say this. I came up in the Braves organization. You are the most humble. You are a world champion manager, and every Braves player that came through that organization is better getting a chance to be around Brian Snitker. Know that.
There you go.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate
that's a
that,
fact.
D-Row. You know what? I feel that about all you guys that I've been blessed to be a part of and have the friendships of all you guys that that I had a chance. That's why this job is really special.
This one is hit well deep right field. Gone. Griffin Conine's first big league homer. Leaping. Whoa, Griffin Conine. Conine looks out to left field. They look up and it's gone. On a day we got to celebrate, his daddy says, don't forget about me.
There we go. His father is Mr. Marlin. He is now the Marlins starting left fielder, making his mark. You can see right there, the guy can field his position. That's Griffin Conine, second-round pick a few years back, getting his first full season. Griffin joins us now from Citi Field. Griffin, it's Brian Kenny. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Griffin, it's pretty incredible. I mean, I saw the footage. You're there as your dad was put in as the first member of the Marlins Legends Hall of Fame. Just describe that. What was that like for you?
It was awesome. Really, really cool moment. The ceremony was really special. His speech was great. Had so much family and friends in town for it. So just a really awesome day, a memorable day.
You know, a lot of major leaguers' sons now thriving in the major leagues. You tell me, is it nature or nurture? Is it genetics or are you trained for it?
I think a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I think definitely mentally you have someone you can lean on and that's done it before you, and that makes it a lot easier. And it's definitely cool to always have that kind of advice coming from such a close place.
Again, you went to Duke. You were a second-round pick. You had good numbers in the minors, but you did 7 years, 6 seasons, 7 years in the minor leagues, even with good on base, hitting home runs. What is it like, that grind?
It's tough, man. It's tough every day. I think it's definitely tough repeating multiple years at one level. And for me that was Double-A, and that was like a tough hurdle to get across. But at the same time, it's still a great life to live. You're grinding every day with the boys, just trying to improve on what you need to improve upon, and I think it's that much more rewarding once you do make it to the next level.
Did you always think that you would make it to the majors, or did you wonder?
I mean, it goes back. There were definitely times that were tough, going through the dog days and towards the end of the seasons, and things don't go how you're expecting them to, and I think there are definitely times where you doubt yourself a little bit, but that's where you can lean on. I can lean on my dad. I can lean on my support system, and they always believed in me, and that made me believe in myself.
Right. Like, how often did you have a conversation with? Like, I would think that's the time to have the conversation with Dad as to, hey, I feel like I'm doing everything right. What's happening here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he was always the guy that was telling me, you should be up. Like, he was angry for some parts of it, and I kind of had to be the guy to be like, my time's coming. I'm just. We're in a good spot, and we're just gonna keep working. And he was always great to bounce that stuff off.
Yeah, that's a dad adjustment. Whatever your numbers are, he sees them as better. That's good. You look like in the early going, you look like a tremendous defensive player. We have some numbers on that too. Have you always been a superior defensive player?
I wouldn't say so, honestly. I think in college, I always had a good arm. I worked hard on my arm. And that was something that took a lot of pride in. Throwing guys out, I think is my favorite thing to do on defense. But I think during those years in Double-A, when the bat wasn't exactly where I wanted it to be, I definitely took more time to work on the little things that make a good outfielder. Jumps, getting reads.
Are you good at that all the time? Tell me, I love that kid's reaction. Are you good at that, going to the wall? How do you practice that?
Yeah, that's a tough one to practice. I will say, I had a lot of opportunities to do it in Double-A and Triple-A, because we had a somewhat of a short wall, and I got good at timing it up and learning how to track your steps. Knowing how far you are from the wall, taking a peek at it, and then just jumping as high as you can, basically.
Yeah, we just showed the numbers, because you're +7 defensive runs saved in just 250+ innings, and if you prorate that, you're one of the best fielders in baseball. Who did you like? Again, if you're watching your father as you're growing up, who do you think was a great defensive player? You model yourself after anybody?
I think defensively, not a ton. I will say I used to love watching Jeff Francoeur highlights. Jeff Francoeur's arm, I think, is one of my favorites to watch him throw guys out. I think he was one of the best at it during his career, and I'll still go back and just watch him rip throws from the outfield.
Good. You guys are 5-5, by the way. You're playing at 4 o'clock today. It's 33 degrees in Queens right now, so they moved the game up. Clay Holmes, Connor Gillespie. You guys are a little surprising 5-5. What's the spirit like on your club?
Yeah, the spirit's a grit, definitely a grit factor with this team. Well, a lot of us are unproven at the big league level, but there's so much talent in the clubhouse, and a very young team. We don't have a lot of veterans, so it's been fun. Kind of, we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat as far as wanting to prove ourselves at the big league level and just show what we got, which is a lot of talent.
Well, Griffin, again, in a short period of time, I'll say you're a pleasure to watch. You really get after it, and that's nice to see. Best of luck this year. Thanks so much for coming on with us today.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you.